Well, we on. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I guess we are live. Hi, Inez. Good afternoon, girl. I don't know. I'll be trying to figure out is we on. I wasn't looking at the countdown. How is everybody doing on this lovely Thursday afternoon? All right. So we are live. I got IG on. So you guys hit like and share so we can get some more folks on here. Today, this topic is going to be very exciting. Let me see what I've been told here. Let's one. Okay. So we ready to go. All right, guys. So today we're going to have some fun today. All right. Hey, I did thanks for jumping in here. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks for jumping in here on IG, you guys. We're going to talk about savings. Good afternoon. And that is early today. I know Lerner can't say nothing about you. All right. So today we're going to talk about savings, guys. You know, this is all about making money, keeping money, saving money. And so what we're going to talk about today, guys, is how we can save, easy ways to save, how we can set those goals, how we can reach those goals. You want to talk about stuff that's very attainable. It doesn't take a whole lot to make it happen. You know what I mean? So that's what we really want to talk about. Things that are easy, things that we don't have to think about, you know, savings that we can set up. We don't have to even worry about how it happens. And as long as we are able to have stuff done automatically or have it done very easily, then of course it just works, right? It makes it work because there's not an extra step that we have to go through to make certain things work. Say, hey, Laverne, how you doing? All right, so today we want to talk about 3 ways to meet your savings goal. Very simplified matters, very easy to attain. And of course, I want you guys, if you haven't already done any of these things, I want you guys to get started doing them today. So listen up. There's going to be 3 simple ways that we can make this happen, right? And by the time you know it, before you know it, by the end of the year, you would have got to have some money saved that you may not have even thought about. So all right, so let's just jump right in here again. I want to make sure that everybody's here on an IG and you guys are, okay, yep, everybody's in tune over here. All right, perfect. So let's start right into, jump right into the first one, right? One of the first things about savings, and we know, of course, one of the good thing about having a savings plan or goal you want to set, as first thing you want to set up is a savings account somewhere. You know, it doesn't have to be at the same bank you are. Sometimes it's better to have it to an external bank, someone that you don't bank with on a regular basis. And other times it might even be better to do one of those online banking. They claim to say that if the bank is not easily accessible, maybe the money will sit there longer. So there's online banking, you know, Ally and some other banks is online. You can't just actually walk into the bank and it's not easily accessible to you. So you want to, of course, start off by setting up a savings account before we even talk about savings, because everything we're talking about here is putting money set aside into a savings account separate from your normal operational checking account that we use on a daily basis, right? So you want to set up a savings account first and foremost. You want to have to set up some saving goals. Sometimes you want to set up a goal for an emergency fund. You might want to set up something for a vacation fund. You might want to set something up for, you know, I know back in the days we used to have a Christmas fund. So there are certain goals that you want to set, you know, small goals you want to set aside, and you want to save for those things. So at the end of the day, you don't pull from your regular savings or retirement that you're setting aside for later on. So first thing you want to do, guys, set savings goals and then open a saving account. Let's start off with just that. And so today, the first thing that we want to talk about is using apps, guys. For saving, we want to use apps. So my number one point today, in order to attain those savings goals, is they have something to make it real easy. They have apps out now that you can use that will assist you in the saving process. So today I'll talk about maybe 3 of those apps and just tell you how they work, because you might want to resort to those if you haven't already using one of those apps. So there are several apps out there. Of course, there's lots of them. So we want to talk about maybe 3 of those apps that you can use that will help you with your savings, make it simplified. And the first one I want to talk about is this, one app called Acorn. Again, not endorsing any of these, because there's a whole lot of them out there. There's an app called Acorn, which does what it does is sweeps your spare change into a savings account. So what you have to do first and foremost is you have to sign up for the app. And what you have to do, you have to link your bank account debit card to the app. So each time you use your bank account debit card, it will take the change and it will put it into a savings account. And for the most part, this account does investments for you. So hopefully it invests in some very good vehicle that will allow you to make even more money on the money you set aside in there. But this is just a simple process. You just get this app, you sign up for it. The fees are not very expensive, maybe like $1 a month, depending on how many of these accounts you want to have. And then, of course, you link it to your debit card. And then every time you use your debit card, which is the card you use, of course, for your checking account at the bank, which is the card for the checking account. So that's linked. So every time you use the card, the app Acorn will take the change from what you spend and will set it aside into that saving investment account. So that's one app that you can use. There's another app that's out there. It's called Capital. You can use that one. Again, not endorsing any of these because there's a lot of those up there. And this one works pretty similar to Acorn. They all is very similar. What they do is they take the difference. They take the change whenever you purchase something. And so what it is they set this money aside into an investment account or into a savings account. But all you have to do, guys, you have to sign up with the app store, and you go ahead and link it to your bank account so that when you use the bank card, it automatically triggers that account and it's connected so the money can go into a savings account. These are just stuff that you can set up. It's automatically done. You don't have to think about making this happen anymore. So that's what we want. We want to make our life easy, right? We want to make sure things are happening without us having to do any extra step. She says change as in coins. No, change as in, not changes in coins, changes in sometimes dollars. So when they call, and coins, to start with coins, they're rounded up. So if something is, 50 cents, they're rounding up to the nearest dollar, so that's how it goes up, round up to dollars. Okay, so that's what happens. I round up to the nearest dollar. So they're not maybe saving the 25 cents or the 35 cents. It's going to be rounding it up to dollars. And so that will add up very quickly, Laverne. So that's one of the other apps. And this one I like the most, right? And this app is called Digit. What it does is it calculates for you how much money you can save. And this is a real cool app because you will, once you connect it to your banking, it will start figuring out how much money you spend. It will create a spending pattern. It will see how you spend your money, how how much money you make, how much money goes out. And so it determines how much you can save. So in other words, it's doing some financial planning for you automatically without you even having to do anything. So, you guys have the bank account can tell you what your spending habits are. I don't know if you guys ever look at all those, the graphs and stuff that's on your account. It shows you your spending habits. So what Digit does, it does the same thing. It links to your bank account. What it does is see what your spending habit is, and it determines how much you can save. So let's say you put $500 in the bank every month, and you're spending, say, $425. So after a while, it evaluates how much you can set aside. So from that $75, it will say, okay, well, she can literally set aside $50 every single time. So based on your pattern. And then if that number goes up, then more money goes over to the savings. So it determines how much you can put in your savings, and then it will transfer that amount of money from your checking account into the savings. So I really love that one because sometimes you may want to save $25, but it will determine based on your spending habits that you can set aside $75. And you probably wouldn't automatically make that adjustment yourself because, of course, you're not paying attention. But because the app automatically does it for you, it's great. So instead of $25, maybe it's sending $75 to your savings account. And I really, really, really love that one. The only downside to that, because there's always a downside. The only downside to that is you got to pay attention and making sure that you don't do something else to use that money that was determined to be transferred to your savings account, for whatever, a pair of shoes, something you didn't need, and then have that transfer take place and your account being overdrawn or whatever that is. So you just have to pay attention, of course. And it helps you from just spending money unnecessarily, buying things that you don't really need, of course, and so the more you can set aside in your savings, guys, the more it will help you. So that's the first point I want to make today. Using these apps, again, will assist with that process. And we want to make our life very easy so we don't have to think twice about, doing anything extra, right? So that's perfect. So that's the first one on the apps as far as savings. Again, like I said, set saving goals, and you want to set different goals, for traveling, for, this wonderful, maybe a Christmas, maybe for, you can even set it for a birthday. Some of us love to have these lavish birthday parties. You can set some money aside for that. So once a year, you can spend that money and don't feel anything about it. Second point today, guys, keep the change. We want to talk about keep the change. Hey, Lerner James, thanks for jumping on here. All right, Lerner Smith, thank you. Good afternoon. And we have a bunch of folks over here at IG. Want to thank you guys for jumping in here. Andy, how are you? All right. Hello, my lovely auntie. Good to see you. I just love it when you're on. Awesomeness, right? So number 2 point, guys, today, keep the change, right? Now, this one is actually great. It used to be even better. Hey, Lerna. It used to be even better. So some banks, I know Bank of America specifically, had where when you use your debit card, what they do is they will take the change from the purchase that you make, and they'll put it in your savings account. So if you buy something, let's say for $1.50, they'll take it up to $2, pull $2 from your checking account and send the 50 cents over to the savings. So this would be done automatically, which is excellent. Again, pretty much similar to the app, but now this is straight from the bank. So you don't have to worry about signing up with some app and maybe paying an extra $1 or $2 a month. Hi, Cognac. Thanks for jumping in here. All right. So to keep the change is great. And back in the days when Bank of America first started this, which was excellent, they used to match that keep the change. They had so many incentive to get people to save, which was awesome. They would match your keep the change, and then they would give you other incentive every month that they would give you different incentive. And so, but now they no longer do the matching thing, but it doesn't mean that it's not a great idea. They still will do to keep the change. So the way it works, again, you have to enroll though. You have to enroll with your bank. If you're a Bank of America, you have to enroll with the bank and say, I want to enroll in to keep the change. And so, see, this is something you're not even paying attention to. You spend $1.50, 50 cents goes to savings. You spend $1.75, 25 cents go to savings. At the end of the day, they accumulate all this money and transfer it to your savings. And who's paying attention to the 50 cents or the 25 cents that's going to savings? But guys, it adds up, okay? It adds up. Again, automatic. We never pay attention to it, but the money goes there, all right? So it sounds like not a lot, but it adds up in the end. So that's the keep the change part. Again, so if you are with a bank, I know specifically Bank of America, I know Bank of America had that, have it. If you are specifically with a bank that has it, go ahead and just sign up for keep the change. Just, you just have to sign up for it and make it happen. Okay, so there's something over here. Let's see. Music, DVDs, souvenirs, clothing. Who is that? Spanky? Is that Spanky on here? All right. There's a lot going on over here. 6,700. Okay, I believe that's Spanky, Mr. Brown. I think he has want everybody to know about his store on Crenshaw Boulevard. Thank you for jumping on here, Spanky. I really do appreciate you always. You do a lot of promoting for us. All right, guys. So that's the second point today. We're talking about just 3 ways for you to meet your savings goal. Very important, guys. Very, very, very important. Let's get into the third point. Automated savings. What this means, guys, again, we're talking about stuff that's automatically done, so we don't have to worry about doing it ourselves. You want to be able to have an automatic withdrawal from your checking account going to your savings account. So again, have a separate savings account set up and have something set up every month you can save. Treat it like a bill you have to pay. How you guys have to wind up paying the car note and the insurance and the utilities, and add savings right into that as a bill. This is a part of that bill that you have to pay. The savings goes right on that list, and treat it like a bill. And every month there's $100. This is for savings. That's a bill, right? And then every month, these are the other monies for the other bills you have, right? So you have that set up automatically withdrawn, transfer over from your checking account straight into that savings account. And once that's set up, once that happens every month, guys, you won't even pay attention to it because you know that that's automatically gone into the savings. You don't have to physically make any transfer. Sometimes we want to transfer it. And, I've tried just transferring myself and be like, oh, well, I'm going to send $75 this month, maybe $25 next month. No, if you set it for $100 every month, it will be transferred over automatically, right? So do the automatic savings. The other thing you can do, I think Cherie said over here, I use the Digit app. Okay, great. And it works for you, right? Okay, so she used that Digit app, guys. Again, see, so here's a testimony on the fact that those apps does work. All right. So again, I just love I love the app thing because I don't want to have to think about a whole lot happening or me physically doing a lot. Right. So I'm one of those folks. I want to make sure that it just happened on its own. All right. So the automatic part of the savings too, guys, we're saying if you have a job that do direct deposit. Now you can split your direct deposit. You can have a portion going to savings and you have a portion going to your checking account. And it will directly deposit what they will do. The job will take that paycheck. And if it's $1,000 and you said $200 going into savings every month and $800 go to my checking account, that's exactly how that direct deposit will happen. The $800 going into the checking account is what you're using to pay your bills, right? And $200 stays over here in the savings. And again, you won't even notice it because you're gonna get used to living and paying your bills with $800 that goes into the checking account, right? This is what we do. We're gonna act that way because that's what we see. If you put $1,000 in there, you spend $1,000. You put $800 in there. What do? We only spend the $800. It's just something that the brain works that way. All right. If you see it, you spend it. If you don't see it, you don't pay attention to it. All right. So that's having that automation, having it automatically transferred from your checking or automatically deposited from your bank. Sometimes this might work for some people. I don't know if it would work for you, but some folks would deposit all their money into the savings account. So they'll take the whole paycheck, deposit in the savings account. And if they know they need, say, $700 to spend on expenses, then they'll transfer out of the savings just what they need for expenses. And in that case, they leave more money in the savings account, right? So it works just the opposite way for some folks. I've known people who've done it that way. They'll put the $1,000 in savings and they'll only use what they need. They'll transfer only the amount of money into the checking for the expenses that month. So in other words, if your bills are lower for whatever reason, more money stays in the savings. So whichever works best for you guys, as long as we have money going into that savings account automatically and we're not touching it, then that will work, okay, in the long run. So once again, on a note here, do not touch the savings unless it's an emergency. Don't touch it. Don't go in there for anything unless it's an emergency. Nothing that you don't need. Or something that you just want, right? You never want to touch it for that. And this is one of the reasons why you set those goals. That's what I'm saying. You set some goals for your Christmas fund or your vacation fund or your birthday fund or whatever you want to call it. Send $50 over there each time for those things. So when it's time to do those, you still don't go into that regular savings account that you want to set aside for what we used to call a rainy day. Because if there's any emergency that happens, like we talked about last week, any emergency that happens, like the disaster, any of that stuff, there is money that you can live off for 6 months, maybe up to a year, if you have that money set aside. Okay, so that's what we want to have a savings for. And then again, to be able to have extra money to invest so that our money can continue to grow and we can, continue to build wealth. So guys, that is 3 great ways, in my opinion, that you can really meet your savings goal. That is going to be real simple, real easy, and you don't have to do a whole lot. Okay, so let me go ahead and recap those. Learn to show all the money. Hey, Anthony Brown. Yes. Spanky, need to know more. Yes. All right, Spanky. Thank you for jumping on here today. So let's go back and recap these, guys. 3 ways to meet your savings goal. Very simple. I want you guys to make note of this. As a matter of fact, hit like and share on this video right now so somebody else can jump on it and get these 3 ways we have to save, right? We can spend everything we make. Number 1, apps. There's several apps out there. We have Cherise on there that said that she used the Digit app. I kind of like that one too because it calculates what it is that you can save based on checking out your spending habits, and it will tell you how much you need to save, and then it will transfer that money into your savings account, right? The other apps like Acorn and Quapital, what they do is they're connected again to your debit card, and then based on what you spend, they'll take the difference of, rounding it up and send it to your savings account, and or invest it from the savings account to some other vehicle that will help you to make more money, right? Second point today, the keep the change part. Some banks, especially B of A, very simple. This is great. All you got to do is sign up at the bank, say I want to be in the keep the change stuff. Every time you spend $1 or $1.50, $1.40, the 60 cents goes into the savings account automatically. Pay no attention to it. It just goes there. They no longer match it, but it's still good because the money is set aside and you don't pay attention. All right. And then my third point today is the automated part of saving, where the money is automatically transferred from your checking to that savings account automatically every month, just like a bill. That $200 is paid to that savings and you pay no attention to it. And or if you have a job, you have the job, do a direct deposit. They can split your direct deposit, some into your checking, some into the savings, 800 to the checking, 200 to the savings. You live with $800 because that's all you see in the checking account. You don't pay any attention to it. That money goes into the savings and accumulate. All right. So if you haven't done any of these, it is not doing them, guys, let's get started. And we'll see how fast this can accumulate. Okay. We will start this today if you haven't started this yet. Right. But and say over here, I'm going to need lots of help. All right. He said, Andy said, I'm going to need lots of help. All right, soon on this money thing, right? Okay, so hey, that's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. That's what PROBY'S is here for. We are here to assist you on this stuff. We got to start with ourselves. We got to start with saving. We can't lose sight of the fact that we need to set money aside. The old saying goes, pay yourself first. And all of you guys know about the piggy bank story. I mean, when we were younger, the first thing you give to a child, or we all had one of those piggy banks, or we made them ourselves, or you bought a beautiful looking one, and you dropped change in there. And that's the work. Some of us have cars with change sitting all in the glove compartment. That is money. And we used to drop all those change into a piggy bank once a month or once every 6 months. You go to the bank, you change that stuff into dollars and you put it in the bank account. So there's so many ways that we can literally save money, and it accumulates. And over time, trust me, you'll have more money than you anticipated. Okay. So I think that's it for the 3 ways to save, guys, and meet your savings goals. And I want you guys to adapt to some of those. Leonard James says, can you tell us about, what's that? If there's another check, if there's another check. The only other check that I think is happening maybe in California that's supposed to be the Golden State stimulus check. Leonard James, if that's what you're asking about, California is supposed to be giving $600. To the residents. If you qualified, you have to be in a certain bracket, of course, to get that. And I think they were starting to send those checks out in September this month, I believe it was, if not August. I can look further into when those checks are going out, but that's the only other check that I know of. There's no other check that I know of that's going directly to citizens besides California Golden State stimulus check for the $600. That should be going to some folks. All right, so if that was your question, I hope that answered it. If you guys have any further questions, you guys put it in the comments below, and or give us a call at PROBY'S Tax and Accounting at 323-290-9034. I love the seat on the front because it just sounds like a commercial to me. 323-290-9034. You guys can visit us at our website at PROBY'stax.com. And any further questions you guys have, if you need any type of consultation, you can just log on to the website and you can book a consultation if you need more information. All right. She said, thank you. All right. So I think that's it for me today, guys. With that said, I want you guys to have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. And you guys take care of each other and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.